Yo, what's going on, everybody? My name is Rob Carmona, and welcome back to another episode of Rob the Mic. Thank you for all the love on last week's episode, and honestly, thank you for all the love on the video that got posted. I'm not just talking about the podcast video, but I'm talking about the lowrider video that I released on Friday. I had told you guys that I was going to be releasing something, and I was trying to work up to it and get everything set and ready to go. It was a long week, or it felt like a long week, because I felt like I was just like edit every single day, trying to get things ready to go. And then thankfully everything went well on Friday. But all the reposts, the comments, the love on the reel that got posted for it and on the video itself from YouTube, thank you guys so much. Like, it's honestly, when I have moments like that, it's very humbling. It's very reassuring that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is the type of things and the type of art that I'm supposed to be creating, not just for myself, but for you guys, because it's a way for me to communicate and show you guys how I see things, right? And it's exciting getting to share that. This is kind of the same type of thing where I have these ideas, I have these concepts, and I can talk about it with y'all, and we can kind of create this little community and create this space where it's like, when you come here, you know what you're going to get. The same way, like when you come to the podcast, you already know what's going on over here. You already know. It's good vibes, it's mental health, it's love, it's positivity, it's me trying to get through life and me trying to find ways to push forward, and in turn helping you guys push through and get through it, right? The way we're all trying to help each other out in some way. But I feel like when I have moments like that, when I release certain types of content or I do certain types of things and I get this level of reassurance, it keeps telling me and it keeps pushing me to go forward, right? That there is some sort of movement and there's something calling me to move towards this route. So thank you guys so much. And what, honestly, speaking of sharing stuff and just kind of putting this kind of work out there, I did something kind of interesting. At least I thought it was interesting. I actually showed the video to my mom and my grandparents. And it's not that they don't know what I do, because they know what I went to school for. They've seen my work, out in the wild on billboards. They've seen it in stores and things like that. But my video and photo work, they haven't really seen. And once in a while, like, I'll show it to my mom, like if I work on a little piece or I do something with a friend or whatever, like I'm like, hey, why don't you check this out, see what's up. But I hadn't shown them the two like feature pieces that I did. So I was like, you know what? I feel like my grandparents would like it. Not just because of the music, but I think like the cars, it is very nostalgic for them. Especially, I'd say especially for my grandpa, because, he was driving around when this type of music was very prevalent. This type of car was very prevalent. Like, it was there. So he's getting to kind of relive and rehash these things out. And the same thing for my grandma and my mom too. Because my mom was around. She got to see all this. She got to understand the culture and see the culture come up. So it's like, I wanted to show them what I've been working on and the stuff that I go to. What do I do and why I do it? And I kind of wish I would have done it sooner, but I'm glad that I did it. So I like sat them down Friday night and I was like, hey, do you guys want to see something? And I put it up on the TV. And the fact that I could put it up on the TV for them was like, whoa, especially my grandparents. But they were so stoked on it, man. They were so stoked on it. And it was like, yeah, this is it. This is it. And what felt really good about that too is, as an artist, I think one thing that we struggle with is who you're trying to communicate to, right? And like, how big of an audience can you span to? How many people can you reach? And not saying that with past content or with Japanese content that it doesn't do the same thing, but the first time I started to experience where it was kind of just like a cross-generational communication was when I started working for 4 Wheel Parts, because I was creating stuff within 4x4 and crawling and just that whole realm that was communicating to like younger gen and also to the older gen, right? With certain photography, like I would try to use older vehicles, or I would try to do and show certain things that it's like, this is going to appeal to everybody, whether it's like the 50, 60-year-old guy with expendable income to the 17, 18-year-old just getting into it, right? So whether I can show like pre-runners or crawlers or overland, or just people who like to fix their stuff up to mall crawl, like, you know what I mean? There's so many different realms, but it calls to so many different kinds of people. And again, that was my first real experience with automotive, creating something that can go so far and speak to so many different kinds of people. So coming back to it on the video side and being able to show the older generation, like, hey, I know these are the types of cars that you like, and I know this is the type of stuff that you're into, but check it out from a new perspective. This is how I see it. So it was really awesome to experience that with my grandparents and just with my family in general. And the response that they had, like, they got all emotional and they're like, wow, like, this is crazy. You know, this is awesome to see what you do, and we can't wait to see what you do in the future. And I'm really excited for that too. And again, it's just constant reassurance to continue doing what I'm doing, to keep pushing, and to keep trying to progress and go harder and harder and harder and capture more and more and more, but capture it the way that I want to capture it, not just capturing it just to do it. Because I think there's a difference when you're out there trying to get and create and do certain types of content, because sometimes you just kind of like run and gun and you shoot whatever, get whatever you can. And sometimes that works out. But I think when you go with a purpose, everything kind of, you start to look at things a lot different. You start to really care about what it is that you're doing. So that's what I'm trying to do, is like be very intentful. Like I've talked to you guys about before, right? Like be intentional with my time. Put it into certain places, put it into certain things, people, events, whatever it may be, but be 100% with it. You know, don't half step with any of it. Because if it had steps, then it's just like, man, it's not going to be that great. It's not, no matter what you do, because you're just kind of like whatever about it. So if I'm whatever about it, I'm not there. It's either I'm all in or I'm out, you know? And I feel like with the things that I've gone to, like the events that I've gone to, both in 4x4 and like on the lowrider American classic side, I've been very, very intentful with that. Like I've gone with this sort of purpose to create something for myself primarily, and secondary for you guys. Because I want to show people stuff. I'm like, oh man, I want them to see this like this. This is how it's meant to be seen. And that's my biggest thing, right? And I think that's a lot of people who are out there creating this type of work, whether it's like in photography and cinema, things like that. That's what the whole idea is, right? That you love their work because it's how they see things, and they're sharing it with you guys. And that's where I'm trying to get at, is like, this is how I see this type of stuff. This is why I shoot these types of angles. You know, I treat my photos this way with colors and do certain things, because it's like, this is it. In my head, this is what I'm creating, and this is how I see it. And I can show that to you guys. You know, and like, I think this week's photos, this week's photos, I should say, right? Because it's been the past week. The first set was of a Matt's Toyota. It's like a white little Toyota pickup that's like bobbed and gnarly as all shit on like trail gear wheels, and just badass, completely badass. Like the tube work on it, just suspension, like he's kinged up front, like it's gnarly, dude. That truck is so sick. And the response on that, dude, you guys are something else. Like, I know I said thank you, and I always say thank you to you guys. I will continue to say thank you because of things like that. The comments, the shares, like the DMs about it, just being like, dude, these photos are amazing, amazing. And Matt was super stoked on them, which I was really excited to share that with him. Because I had told him and his girl, I said, hey, like, you know, let's exchange information, dude. That way I can get you these photos, and I want to show you what I do. Because, I didn't show him anything or any previews. So for him, it was just kind of like, there's this guy running around that I've never met with a camera. He's taking hella pictures of my truck. I don't even know what it's going to look like. So in my head, I'm also like, I have to create something great, because I want to show him something great. I want him to be like, just kind of surprised by it all. Like, damn, this is what you were doing? This is what you worked on? Like, shit, like it makes sense, bro. That's what's up. That's why I saw you getting down and you're all crouched up and you're over here and you're over there. Like, there was a reason for that. And that's why. Because I was trying to create something like that. And I also wanted people to see the extremity of the truck, because pictures don't do it justice. But in the way that I shot it, it shows you guys how serious his truck is. It wasn't out there to play games. He was one of the very few vehicles that got through the entire trail out there doing the maze. And I don't even know what else he did the entire weekend. He probably went and just did some wild shit. But I'll tell you right now, it was hands down the most, if not one of the most capable rigs that was out there. And I know it was a Jeep event, so I was also super fucking excited that there was a Yoda out there, and it just so happened to be a pickup. And also it reminded me of Albert's pickup, so I got really excited about that too. He was out there kicking ass, dude. He's kicking ass, taking names, and thankfully I was there to catch some of it. And I have a couple clips, but I don't have too much of it because I didn't get to see him do a lot. But at least I was able to capture what I did. So you have that side, which communicated to a ton of different people. You know, shouts to Jeep Jamboree for giving that photo love. To be 100% honest, you know, that was really, really, really badass. And there was a couple other people that gave the photo love that was insane. I had no expectations of receiving any sort of love like that. You know, there's a 4x4 magazine that was out there, commented. That was nuts, which, if not mistaken, it was Tread. Could be totally wrong. But they showed it love, just the way the community came together for it. So thank you guys. From Jeeps to Yodas, everybody. Everyone in the crawler community went, recognized it, and I'm very, very thankful for that. And my next set of photos that seemed to hit was actually the set that I posted on Monday, which was of Louis Impala. And that was another one. See, and it's like I get to create these pieces that speak cross-generationally. You know, there's guys that are like my age and younger that are loving those photos and appreciating. And then there's guys like in Louis' age group, you know, like in their 40s, 50s, even older, that are cruising around on IG that are like, yo, that's badass. So it's like, this is it. I'm getting to create these pieces of art that are communicating to so many different people. And it's very humbling, you guys. It's very, very humbling. And I'm excited. It makes me more excited to keep creating, continue this, and keep on this path. And it's just, again, constant reassurance. And as an artist, like I need it. I need that reassurance, like for myself, just to kind of tell me like, yo, this is a direction. Because as much as an artist would love to just create stuff, right? Like something's got to pay the bills. Something's got to come in. There has to be some sort of financial gain on that side. And I know I could go back to corporate work and just get it from that side. That way this can be more of a hobby, but I don't want that. I'm trying so hard to create and to make a life for myself. And I know I can do it. I know I can do it. Like I see it. I feel it when I'm out there. And when I do certain types of things, it's like, yes, this is exactly where the fuck you're supposed to be. This is what you're supposed to be focusing on. Not some bullshit ass work, not sitting in front of a computer for somebody else doing nonsense, watering down your skill levels. Like, no, I'm supposed to be maxing out my skills with all the stuff that I do so I can create my best work. And at some point, hopefully that people will turn around and be like, hey, I want you to create something for me. I want you to shoot my vehicle, or I want you to shoot my event in general because I love the style, the way that you shoot, you know? I'm trying to figure out what it is that I'm going to do next. And one of the videos that I'm trying to work on, I'm not 100% sure if it's all going to come together that way, but I'm scrubbing through footage right now from Utah because I shot a bunch of clips, a bunch of different things. So I'm trying to put together a little something. I don't know if it's going to be to the extent of the Lowrider event that was released on Friday, but I'm going to do my best to just kind of put something together for y'all. And I mean, for myself too, like I want to see what it is, you know, how it all turns out. But I really want to show you guys what I saw out there. And also there's just some really cool footage of a lot of what these Japes are capable of. And to go through the maze and to go through other parts and like, you know, John's Trail and things like that. Because a lot of these places that we were at were really serious. You know, like I remember telling you guys about the trip on that episode of the cast. And it was the gnarliest shit I've ever done 4x4. Gnarliest, hands down. Like I've done some crazy stuff out here, but nothing like that. Like the amount of times we almost lost it was way too many. Like I can't count on my fucking hands and toes. So it was very stressful, but very great at the same time. And there's so many really key moments that I was able to capture. So that's why I'm trying to see how and, you know, where I'm going to put it all together. But I think that's what's going to come out next is probably a 4x4 project. So we'll see what's up. And as far as like the pictures that are going to be coming out, everything's going to pretty much stay the way it's been. I still have a couple 4x4 crawler photos that are going to be coming out. So I'm excited to show you guys those. But of course, there's a bunch of other work too, like from Moon Eyes, all that stuff that's going to start releasing. So I'm excited. I'm really, really excited for you guys. And with all of that being said, just trying to plan future events. I'm trying to plan projects with friends, trying to see, like, what are we going to do? How are we going to do it? Like, there's a camping trip that some friends and I are trying to plan, and I want to shoot it. I want to shoot everything, like start to finish, like make like a little short film out of it. And there's like some car stuff that I have coming up that's going to be really exciting, really, really exciting. Some features that I'm trying to do, all these things that I'm just trying to line up. And it's that sort of planning gets me gassed up. It just makes me hungry. It makes me so hungry to keep going, to keep creating. And as difficult as it is to stay on top of that, it's so worth it. The work is so worth it. Because like Friday, as stressed as I was to get all that stuff out for that video, once it was out and I saw it on the TV, I got emotional about it because I'm like, damn, dude, this is sick. And it's not like, oh my God, it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Like, it's not that's not how I'm talking about it. What I'm talking about is just, I think as an artist, when you can kind of step back and you look at what you've created, I think it's just that you can show yourself your capability and that you love what you've created, because I do. I really do love the things that I create, whether it's photo, whether it's video, anything like that. Like, I truly do have a love for what I do. I'm very passionate about my work, whether it's in design, anything within the creative realm, because it's a part of me, and that's what made art school so difficult. That's what made it hell, because you're putting yourself onto that wall when you're showing it for review, or you're putting yourself onto that screen for review. And it was tough to constantly be chopped down. But at the same time, it created this really, I'd say it was kind of like an ugly thing that it created, because I'm so hypercritical of my work that it almost hinders what I do. And it did that for a long time. As you guys know, that's kind of why like I stepped away from IG, because I was curating my work. And don't get me wrong, I still curate it heavily, but I was curating and so hard on myself that I couldn't even create shit, because I would do stuff and I'm like, this isn't even good. This isn't even good enough. Like, what am I doing? And I would toss it. And it honestly was really great. So there's a ton of stuff that I have that nobody will ever see, because at that point, I don't even want to dig back to pick it up. So it's like, fucking leave it alone. Because now I think what I'm creating, like, I've been able to kind of tame that monster. It still drives me heavily, and it pushes me to create and do my absolute best work. And if it's not that, then it's not going to see the light of day. But again, that's the type of intent that I'm trying to create with. And now, because I've been able to tame it a little bit, it just fuels me. It doesn't take over my entire existence like it used to. And I think that's coming out of art school. I knew that was something I was going to experience, because I remember talking about it with one of my mentors, Michael Stinson, that he was like, dude, always remain humble. Never let it get to your head, but stay pushing to constantly create your best work. And you're going to go through these moments where you almost have like an imposter syndrome. It's like, but it'll pass. It'll pass. All that's going to pass. And you're going to realize and find yourself as an artist, as a creative, and you're going to find your place in this world, because that's what it is, right? Like, we're all trying to find our place in whatever realm that we're in. It's in anything, whether it's your career, your personal life. We're just trying to see where we fit in this puzzle. And I'm finally now starting to kind of carve out my edges and see where I go, to see and create my own vein. Because I'm like, I don't want to fit just anywhere. I want to fit in this place that I'm creating. And that's what I'm trying my best to do. And with the love that you guys show and the way that you guys show it, it's like, fuck, dude, this is what I was supposed to do all along. I was trying so hard to fit somewhere and to find somewhere to be and just call home, when all I had to do was create my home. That's what I had to do. That's what I was supposed to be doing. And that's what my professors were trying to get me to understand. Some of them would talk to me about stuff and I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, I get it, but like, what? I'm just trying to do something, But this is what it is. My perspective teacher, that guy is phenomenal. And he taught me and he pushed me a lot to understand. And it was tight to go to have my class with him when I have perspective, because he was outside of design. So I got my perspective from a different person in a different realm who came from like architecture, fine art, and things like that. So it's like he's giving me a completely different perspective, but he sees my work and he sees what I was creating. So it's like I got stuff from him. I got stuff from another professor that was in action sports, Dan Mariner. Really talented guy. Him and his wife are insanely talented, and they're fully in the action sport industry. Anything and everywhere, they've probably worked on it, they've probably done it. You know, there's all these bits and pieces that I was trying to get from these people, or that they were trying to give me, but I didn't understand it until now. And that's what it was. That's what a lot of them were trying to tell me, especially Dan. Dan was a big one because he was always pushing for me in school and the projects that I was working on. Because at the time, I was the only person that was doing anything automotive based. That wasn't a thing when I was there. People didn't fuck around with that, and they really don't now. But I was creating and pushing for a vein, and it worked. And that's what I based my thesis around. So now that I'm in this place, it's like, cool, I can carve my own lane. Why was I trying to fit so hard into something else when all I had to do, again, was create it for myself? And if people want to come into my house, then they can. It's here. It's on display. This is what this is about. This house represents all these things. And if you like it, you're more than welcome to step inside. Check it out. See what we got around here. It's beautiful. In my opinion, I think it's beautiful. I love what I'm creating. I love what I'm doing. I like how I feel right now. And that's a heavy one. That's a really, really heavy one, because it's like I'm trying to, I had this conversation with Yessie and Albert this past weekend on the importance of understanding that, like, if I let go of design a little bit, that it doesn't make me any less of an artist, because I'm just focusing on a different aspect of my art, and it's helping me to create this home. But if I don't step away from design and like what I was trying to do with that, I won't be able to build this house that I'm building right now. Like, there's no way. Because I also remember what that was like working in design. As great as it was, having to water yourself down and milk everything is like, it kills your creative side. Where it's like, don't create cool shit. Just create what we're telling you. And it's like, oh, what the fuck? What a bummer. Like, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do the production. Okay, I can touch these photos up. Okay, I can make all these marketing pieces. But it's like, this shit sucks. It's not what I want. And when I was talking to them about this too, I just remember telling them, like, dude, there's so many people that are online creating these things, and they're getting the attention they deserve because they're just doing it. And that's the difference. It's like, whether you're willing to do it or not, whether you're willing to get off your ass or not, right? Like, people complain so much about other people, but it's like, you're just as capable. Just do it. Just fucking do it. That's the difference between you and them. They're making it in whatever it is that they're doing because they got up and they got off their ass. And for myself, I had been standing back for so long trying to figure things out that that's all I had to do was get off my ass and do something. I liked there's a certain type of creative, I guess, like, thing that I like to see. There's like certain things that I look for. There's artists that I look at, that I really look up to. And I'm like, I look up to these people so much and I respect them so much that I know what I'm looking for, right? So why am I not out there creating this? Why am I not out here doing it? And now I am. And I love that. I love that for me. I love that for the people around me, because it gasses us all up. It makes us all want to do, create, and be better. And that's what this is about, collectively. And I would say, thankfully, a lot of my homies are creative people. So when one of us starts to create, I think we all kind of start to like, hey, I want to create. Hey, I want to do stuff. I want to do this. And I guess my definition of creative spans pretty far. Like, it's not just in art, because I consider my homies who are fabricators, I consider them creatives, because they're creating and they're making these things out of metal. They're making these switches, they're making these knobs, they're making these brackets, they're doing all this, they're making bumpers, supports, cages, all this type of shit. And it's like, all of that requires design. It requires an eye for something to understand and say, okay, cool, this is the threshold of this, and da 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 da, and I want this bend to look like that. And, I want to make this brake line right here, but it has to have these 4 to 5 complex bends. But I also want to get kind of artistic with it. And it's like, they're just as much a creative as anybody else out there. So we all feed off of each other. We all feed off of each other. And I guess what my long way around going, or how would you say? That's like my long way of explaining, just for myself, if I can let go a little bit of one thing, I can focus onto another and grow that area, because that's where my heart wants to go. It's where my heart wants to be, you know? And it's tough because I think it kind of sets in like this constant search for excitement and happiness. And there's like a real danger to that at the same time, because I feel like if I'm not looking, or if I'm not out searching for these things, like I'm not doing it. And that's not the case. It's not the case, right? It's like sometimes, okay, just you got to sit back. Why don't you review some of the stuff that you got? Why don't you go through some footage, create something out of some things that you have? And then that's how I can find excitement. That's how I can find happiness, or like, let's say there's a couple photos I haven't released yet. And it's like, maybe there's only singles. It's like, what kind of project could I do with all of these to showcase them? Maybe create like an interesting carousel, or I don't know. I'm not really sure. But it's like, I have to start thinking of things differently, but something that still brings me happiness. But again, that's another monster that seems to be kind of walking with me now. So I have this one that's just like, create your best. And if it's not your best, like, don't show it. But again, that one's, thankfully, it's a little more tamed. So I can deal with it and again, use it to fuel. But then there's also this thing where it's like, if it's not exciting, if you're not constantly searching, you're not constantly out creating, you're not doing it. So now I'm trying to work on taming that monster, where it's just this, it's almost like they say, like, you need to learn how to not keep busy, right? Like, you need to learn how to like relax and slow down. I think that's a part of it too, that like feeds in or falls in with that monster, because I almost feel like I can't relax. I can't sit down. Like, if it's at night or whatever at the end of my day, then I can start to slow down depending on what's going on. Sometimes it's when I work, so I like switch it up a little bit, but it's tough because I don't want to feel like fuck, like I'm not doing anything. So I got to constantly create. Even when I don't have work, I got to find work. I got to find like myself doing something, because if not, I'm just like, I'm itching, I'm losing my shit, And I guess you could say, and it's tough, right? Because I'm sure you guys are probably like, damn, dude, like I didn't think about a lot of this shit that way. And that it has like it would have a pretty heavy mental toll. And honestly, all of this has taken a pretty heavy toll on me mentally, for the better and for the worse. For the better, because it's put me in the best place that I've been in the last couple months. I think with everything that I've been experiencing and just kind of witnessing, jumping back into this realm of creativity and just wanting to create something has pushed me, and it's what helps me get out of bed in the morning, because it makes me want to create something, whether it's like reels or video or go through my photos or what's going to get posted today. Like, it gives me a sense of purpose. And that's been the best thing. And my therapist said the same thing. She's like, dude, you coming back into this and finding your realm of like where you sit and where you want to stay has been the healthiest thing for you. Because regardless of anything else going on, I refuse to drop this. I refuse to let this shit hit the ground. Whether it's stuff going on in my personal life, whether it's stuff going on in my romantic life, professional, like anything, it doesn't matter. I fucking throw it all away, because I'm like, this thing that I want, that I love, that I'm nurturing, I want this to succeed. And none of that matters. None of this other bullshit matters. This is the only thing I need to make me happy, to make me feel like I'm doing it. And I'm doing it for me. So there's that toll of it, which has been, again, really positive. And there's also been another positive thing to come out too, which I think it's created I take that back. I know it's created a massive sense of wanderlust, which I haven't felt before. And Utah really opened that up. I would say Utah opened up that door big time. Before, I was already starting to feel it with just like the classic and the lowrider stuff, because I noticed I've been traveling more. I've been going to different places more to create and capture these moments. So that already has me hungry to just kind of go anywhere and do anything to capture and do this type of stuff. But Utah was a different kind of experience, because from a nature aspect, it's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. And it's like I told you guys, I love feeling small. I love feeling like everything towers over me, and being in that red rock and seeing some of these formations, I was like, dude, I'm done. This is it. I need more of this. How do I get more of this into my life? How can I create and do more of this? So I've definitely, there's like a bug inside me. There's something, a flame that's going on that's like, travel, see, create, do all of this stuff, and do whatever you have to do to make it happen. So hopefully over the next few months, I'm able to travel, check out some stuff that I want to check out, go to certain events, do certain things. And I want to share it with you guys. That's what I'm so excited about. It's like, I want to show you guys this. You want to show us what? Like, I don't know, but I'm going to show it to you soon, you know? And it's just, when I get there, I'll know it. When I get there, I'll know it. And that's where I'm at. It's time. It's very much time for me to show myself what I'm capable of, and to also let myself express that with you guys. And again, with that first monster that I was dealing with, I held it back for so long. I held myself back for so long. I feel like I wasn't letting myself be the true creative that I am. But now that I've tamed that, and I've been able to use that. It's like, now I can show you guys what I love to do, what I really love to do, and what makes me happy and brings me joy. So we'll see. We'll see how the next few months pan out. I know there's a lot of good coming, not just for myself. I think for a lot of people, I think there's a lot of good coming for all of us. Everybody in this little crew, you know, everyone who fucks with the cast, like, I know you guys are about it, and I know y'all got good things coming too. I know it. There's something about being in this type of positivity and creating this sort of realm with this like family that we've created. And I think it's gonna all push us. It's gonna all push us. Like, I wish everybody who listens to this cast, like, it'd be so tight to kind of like put everyone in a room, do like a TED Talk kind of thing, and we all just kind of like shoot the shit about all of this stuff, right? Like creativity, about love, mental health, all of that, because that's just how I feel. Like, I feel like we're creating something really great. And I keep saying we because it's we. It's not just me. I'm putting this stuff out there, and y'all are the ones that are listening to it. Y'all are the ones that are communicating with me and shooting me texts and DMs and calls and being like, hey, XYZ, this, that, and the third. So, you know, I appreciate y'all. And I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for the rest of this year. I'm excited for the next couple weeks, because there's things that are coming up. And I can't wait to show y'all. I really can't. And my bit of advice for the week is, it just kind of falls in line with everything that we've been talking about today. And it's, you know, create the life that you want to live, because no one's going to create it for you. I really do think you have to take reign of that. Listen to your heart, listen to your mind, listen to your soul. If you see something and you're like, that's the life that I want, then work towards that. Work toward it as much as you can. Whether it's putting stuff away financially, whether it's just kind of making certain plans, doing certain things, shifting things up, do it, because no one's going to hand it to you. And you know what? It also goes with, you know, this thing we were talking about a couple weeks ago, where it's like, you know, you got to create realistic goals, realistic expectations. And it's like, you kind of have to sit and find your place within that realm and where you go. How do I find this balance, right? Of creating this life of, let's say you want to travel a lot. How do I travel like this and have this kind of job and do certain things? Well, it's like, maybe the happy place is you finding a job that can open up travel opportunities, right? So it's things like that. And for myself, where I'm at, this is what I'm doing, is trying to create the life that I want to live, because I'm tired of seeing other people live lives like that. And I know that I'm capable of it. I know that I deserve that too. And I can't wait to get there. So once again, this week's advice, y'all, create the life that you want to live, because no one is going to create it for you. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. I'm looking forward to next week's episode. Let me know if there's something you guys want me to cover, talk about in the episodes, anything like that. Do not hesitate. Shoot me a DM, text, call, anything like that, whether it's here or on my personal page. You guys are more than welcome to hit me up on anything. Let's talk about it. Let's keep these conversations going. I know there's stuff that you guys are dealing with, stuff that you guys are going through. If you want my opinion on certain things, holler at me. Don't hesitate. But I appreciate y'all, and I'll catch you on the next one.